found out that I was muted. Because I didn't unmute myself like I said I wasn't gonna do until now. But yes, so welcome to the Best Boys podcast. That's Kory, Pitt Cavish, or Kory with a story on all the things. I'm JP. I'm just jack of all trades. Made a lot of music. I dabble in many things. Directed music videos in the Pittsburgh area. Just do some graphic design. Pretty much just a big nerd and enjoy binging media. And I really got into film the last few years in quarantine. And worked on writing and things like that over time. But I basically am just your average Joe here, the perspective here, whereas Kory's actually working in the industry. I believe he was. I don't know if you mentioned this, but you just got off the set, or you're in LA right now, working on what, BTS for Euphoria, or you're working on Euphoria?
Yeah, I shoot
the HBO show.
Me and my production partner shoot the behind the scenes for HBO marketing. A couple of their shows being right now we're on Euphoria, and then we did Euphoria season 1, Perry Mason and Mates for Love. So yeah, I'm just excited working on season 2. Can't say anything about it other than that, but it's super fun. I'm glad to be back.
Cool.
Quarantine sucked.
That's cool. Good. Yeah, I'm happy for you. But so basically, we came up with this as like we started watching movies over Discord in quarantine. Now it's getting over, but we kind of wanted to keep that going. I know me and my girlfriend Riss, we also have been doing similar things, and we figured might as well archive our thoughts and feelings on these things as we learn and enjoy mostly good flicks and some fun, some fun along the way. All right. So do we want to get to it, or is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we get into the first film? And I don't think we decided. Did you want to talk about Shape of Water or Army of the Dead first? I feel like there's the contrast, of the films, really. It depends. It will set the tone in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just getting my notes back up.
I can flip a coin. I have dice from running D&D. I have dice all around me. So, if you want to
roll a hundo.
Hundo. We just need even and odd.
If it lands on 70 or above, we do Shape of Water.
All right, I'll just do.
We know what the people really want to hear.
I'm just gonna roll a D4, and if it's evens, we'll do Shape of Water because it's good, and if it's odds, well, odd.
I'll do the real masterpiece.
We do the real disaster piece. No, it's not that bad. It is not that bad. And since we're gonna do it first, let me.
Army of the Dead one. Nice.
Yeah. And I do have a little title thing. And I have my letterbox on the screen just as a reminder that we are on Letterbox, and that is my main app that I've been archiving my reviews and what I've been watching. So if you're into that, and I'm gonna track all our scores on there. Kory, I don't know if he has one yet, but just to archive how we feel about these over time. I'll make some kind of list. And yeah. All right. Army of the Dead, directed by Zack Mother effing Snyder. Released in the year of our Lord 2021 AD. After the death of Jesus Christ. Now, dude, I feel like you should you should start it off.
Okay. Wow, I didn't think to go first, but okay. All right. So, do you want general thoughts? Do you want me to like my
yeah. We can go general first. And then I guess we should do that. Let's do non-spoiler first. But if you're joining us, just know that I have no control of what spoilers may fly out of my mouth. I will try to work on it, but
same. Yeah, I'm bad at that.
Go into this expecting. But at first, we'll do our best. So, general review. Do your best not to spoil.
Okay, I didn't hate it, but I will say there are many times when I had to stop the movie and just go, "Why?" But like when the action was going, it was cool. But it's definitely like the coolest part of the movie is the opening credits like sequence. That's by far and away the coolest part of the movie, and I wish there was
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah,
montagey
yeah. It
action
was a
like
little
that.
long, but it was like all things I will say about this
Yeah.
movie. It was a little long, but it was cool. Um, I love that he used Richard Cheese, which I believe that was Richard Cheese, because that's who did the Down with the Sickness from the Dawn of the Dead remake. You know,
Oh
like
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's I called it out immediately. I was like, if that's Richard Cheese, that's a good
that's
callback because I
hilarious.
know it's not supposed to be. I looked it up. It's not a direct sequel, or not direct sequel, but it's not technically a sequel. It's still spiritual. But you know, there's so many winks and nods to Dawn
Mhm.
of the Dead. The remake, his remakes particular, but also, and I think he was trying to evolve from the what they were doing in Land of the Dead with the sentient zombie, you know, the
Yeah,
learned zombie, the evolved zombie.
like
This
the different like the hierarchy of intelligence in the zombie
Yeah,
community.
yeah, I think he thought he was doing that, which I guess we was doing. And Land of the Dead is not the best movie. I might try to bring that. It kind of made me want to watch it and think if I remember it as better or not. Um, but yeah. So I didn't like it. Obviously, but as always, with Zack Snyder films, there's always something to enjoy, whether ironically or not. Whether it's a cool action moment or whether it's a cool, just a moment. He's a guy who can really capture a moment, in an interesting way, like with motion and action, and you know, the everybody rags on the slow mo in Justice
Very
League.
much lack of slow mo in this movie.
No, there's some, but not.
Few and far
Uh,
between.
Probably because people are
It was
making fun of them too much, but that's not
yeah.
any. I didn't have problems with slow mo. My problems were with the narrative, um, being shitty and like incoherent and like at times, um, but mainly is the depth of field thing. The depth of
Oh,
field thing ruins the movie for me. Almost
I didn't
ruined
think it
the
was that
movie for
bad.
me.
I
It was
like
so it
I
felt like when so I don't I work in an office and we do a lot of Zoom calls, or not Zoom calls, but Microsoft Teams and Zoom style stuff. And you have a setting you can do, and it blurs the whole background, so it's just you in the foreground, and it blurs the back. And that's exactly what it looked like. The whole movie was shot in, and you can only see the person in the foreground, and everything else was obscured and blurred, and it really took away from. I like it. So this was a style choice, obviously. He said it. I watched the little BTS thing. Joel said portrait. Young Leisure in the chat said portrait mode. That's what it looks like. Yeah, yeah. So I guess like because everyone's working from home, so you can't see like if someone's dog or like baby or naked partner walks onto the screen. Um, but it really made it hard to enjoy or take in what everything's going on. It made it feel claustrophobic, and it made it feel like so they were moving through the Vegas, right? And I'm trying, I don't think this is really a spoiler because you know it's in Vegas. They're like moving through the town, the city, and everything's so blurred around them you can't tell how far they're really going. Like it's like, are they in the same place? Or are they in a
mm,
different place? And until they go indoors, um, do I know that we have now moved on to a different part of the movie? Um,
for me it I didn't like it at first. I was like, God damn, like this is really bad. Like he's shooting on these Canon Dream lenses, which are kind of like an offshoot from like K35s and FDs and stuff. And like I shoot with FDs all the time, and a lot of the time it will just look like whenever you have a broken FD and you shoot wide open, and it's like this haloing around the characters, unintentionally. And the But like once I probably 20 after 20 minutes in, it didn't bother me. I like got used to it, and I did enjoy that at least all extreme wides and establishing shots were not super blurred. Like that one right there, like you at least know, like he sets it up so you can know what's going on. But yeah, I definitely felt like it for something that needed to be big in the scale of like traverse distance, it felt too claustrophobic.
It honestly
Um,
felt like something that was, and I don't know if this was why I did it, but it was trying. It almost like the blurred edges on the outdoor scenes really fucked with your sense of scope, and then
mhm.
maybe they didn't need the budget that you would in a giant ass movie.
The
Because
budget on this was only 90 million.
yeah,
Trying to do
yeah,
like a movie this big with 90 million, like it definitely shows that there was lacking in some areas, but like
mm-hmm.
overall the light, like the lighting looks great. That opening title sequence is still I go back to like when they're standing in front of the backdrops, is so good. Like from a technical perspective, like lighting and cinematic, like it just looks so clean. But then you get into the movie and it's all handheld and shot at a 0.95. Nothing's in focus. But at the same time, like I don't know. I just kind of like once I settled into it, it didn't bother me anymore.
I mean,
And a
I
lot of that,
definitely noticed it less as I was going, but
yeah,
I just like had to get
but
over it that this is just how the movie looks.
yeah,
But I was gonna say, well, once you get indoors, it was not as bad. It was like because it was indoors, so it felt like it was
yeah,
appropriate. But these big outdoor shots, and mainly those like any shot of somebody's head of just like a
mhm,
bust shot up or a head shot, and everything around them is unintelligible. And there was a bunch of
yeah.
those in a row. They kept doing those in between like the action sequences.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Um,
all of your like back and forth OTS like dialogue sequences are like that, and it just it I get like I think he said in one interview it's just like he just wanted all the attention to be focused on like the character face and eyes. But like when you have like Dave Bautista as your best actor in the movie, it's not. And no offense to him, but like it's not. There's not a lot of emotion. Like the whole time, like I just kept thinking in my head that this is just fucking Drax's fucking solo movie outside of the Guardians
so
because that's just like the delivery
how did
felt like.
how did you feel about his performance? Because
Not great. Like it just felt
I
like he was it sounded like he was giving the Drax deadpan delivery, like he's trying to make a joke, but none of the lines were jokes.
I could tell he was trying to do a subdued stoic thing, and it
Mhm.
just like, and it worked sometimes, but there were moments where he was just like, he's just always whispering, like huskily whispering, like oh, they're gone, oh god, shit, they're gone, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, all right, dude, like Moda, you're not getting really angry. Or I guess that was supposed to be his thing, like he only got angry, really angry a few times in the movie. um
The part towards the end where it's like him, I guess it's not towards the end, but like probably like an hour left in the movie. And it's like he's talking to his daughter and he's trying to be like, yeah, I'm sorry, like I know you hate me
Oh my
because I
god,
killed
dude,
your
hold
mom.
on. No, we're gonna get to that scene. Let's wait till we get to spoiler, or if we're deciding like going to spoiler territory, because that
Well, that's such a
scene.
small plot note that doesn't really change the
I
plot
want
of
to
the
talk
story
about
itself.
that scene. I really, if you're talking about what I'm thinking, with it, it's just him and his daughter
Yeah,
talking about emotional shit, like
yeah,
like 2/3 through the movie. If that's what we're talking about.
yeah.
Because I want to go into that. I got lots of notes about that. Because me and
Um,
Riz stopped it, rewound it, and watched it again just to fucking go in on it.
Poor Dave.
I say I like Dave Bautista.
No,
Um,
I did too.
but yeah, not great. Oh, Stuckman, get his ass out of here.
Yeah, he's just
Oh,
he's trying to get in.
I will. Yeah,
He's
he's
not our
trying to
best
get in on
boy.
our shit. Here, I got a graphic. Oh, I got a graphic. It is of Zack Snyder using his camera. So I watched the beginning of the BTS thing on Netflix, and Zack Snyder's talking
Mhm.
about this lens, and then I looked into it about he has using a digital camera for the first time.
Yeah, he showed
Also,
on Red Gemini.
this is worth noting that this is his first film that he ever was DP on. Director of
Do you know the
photography.
reason behind that?
No, I don't. I just know that
But the
this
reason
is
why
his
he's the
first film.
credited DP on this is because he knew that, this might not be well received the way he wanted to shoot it. And so he didn't want to ruin any DP's career by having their name attached as a DP for this and it being bad. So he like did it to be like to not fuck anyone's career over but his own if it went
What?
bad, which is really respectful, I think.
Strange, but I mean that it's just not. That is not. I feel like that. It's obvious that is admirable. Young Elijah just said.
You
But
just want to like take all the blame if it ended up being super bad.
yeah,
This
but that's
whole
never been
movie
a
is essentially an
strength.
experiment for him.
It definitely seems like he's experimenting in the shooting, in the cinematography, and
I this whole movie is like a test shoot for him doing digital, essentially, and then just playing around with the these lenses that he got and wanted to see like, well, what would happen if you did just do this whole thing? And I don't think it it didn't turn out great. Like, but most of my gripes just come from bloated story and bloated story beats.
yeah, the honestly, this movie could be watchable as a like a solid B movie action horror thing, but the length makes it really hard to digest, even for a normal, I feel like a average audience member. The indulgence is a big problem, and I honestly admired it. That was one thing I admired about the Justice League cut, is because like it's not, it's the 4 hours is to its detriment. It could be a lot a lot shorter, but I feel like people down the line are going to go back to these movies where studios just gave him huge ass budgets and were just a go fucking ham, especially, well, I guess Netflix, this wasn't a big budget, but HBO with Justice League, and just see what happens when somebody with a resume and skill set and just like style like Zack Snyder, and just give him these giant, or get like this leeway to do whatever he wants, and this is what we're getting, and like an auteur, like you're like an auteur, and it's kind of interesting what we get. And it's like, think about 80s and 90s. I think someone in the Discord was just talking about Point Break before we got on, and I have not seen that, and it's on our list. And but I think about movies that are like, they capture, even if they're not that great, like how many 80s action movie just capture a vibe of the time and the style of those action movies. And I wonder if people go back on them and admire the aesthetic and the style more than the actual film itself, because it's like cheesy or whatever. I mean, there was a big wave of parodies like that Kung Fury or whatever on Netflix. Have you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen the original like shortened trailer and stuff from that.
Yeah, yes, like that pastiche of those
basement.
kinds of things. Like, I wonder if people down the line will have that kind of nostalgic appreciation for him, particularly what he's done with these last few films. What do you think?
This one's kind of just going to be forgotten, but I think that Justice League is as someone who liked the Snyder, just like genuinely thought it was really good. I definitely feel like that it's just going to be a case of just like, I mean, to the people who liked it, is like, this is what happens when no studio interferes, you get a good movie, versus like you look at Justice League, the Whedon cut, and it's
Justice
like
League.
it's a fucking mess.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about Sam Raimi in this
Oh yeah
Strange thing.
I mean,
it seems like it could be a similar.
Bad.
No, but neither was Joss Whedon, we thought before, because all it was Avengers is guys gonna save Justice League, and everyone was excited about it.
Avengers 2 was not that great though. Like, I thought Age of Ultron was kind of boring.
Yeah, you're right. But all right, let's not get too far into superhero world. But were you making a point? About Joss Whedon?
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's just like, when, I don't know, that cut is so terrible, and the fact that you just like, the whole point of the movie was written around Cyborg, and then you just come in and rip that out, and then paint over Henry Cavill's mustache.
All right. All right, we know we know the saga with Justice
Yeah,
League.
this is
Let's
bad.
stick onto the movie because I think the Justice League. Yeah, this is not a Justice League podcast, but because I don't think his cut it's better, but it has serious problems in its own right. Notably that is 4 fucking hours, and that is what we need to talk about. I mean, the 2.5 hours of this movie is completely unnecessary. I think a movie of this style, the movie of this style could have been an hour and 45 minutes and still had this weird, shitty narrative, and at least that would have been dumb fun, and I could have got down with it. But the fact that it was 2.5 hours, just made it so bloated. Like everything we talk about, the opening scene, cool. A little bit too long. Cool moments, but too long, and also a lot of bad moments. And now I think we should hit the spoiler button. Maybe I should have to make some kind of kind of thing, something cool. And but there's a few scenes I want to talk in, but let's talk about the characters. So, the beginning of the movie, you're assembling your team. You got your helicopter pilot, you got your people with guns, you got your YouTuber who's good at headshotting zombos. You got
so many comments about that.
You got your I don't even know the one woman with the bandana. Don't know where she came from.
She was brought with the YouTube guy.
Oh, because
they were like lovers, zombie killing lovers.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I had a hard time with her whole thing. That whole sequence of her fighting for like 5-10 minutes and for nothing was really that is my worst. Other than the sequence we're going to talk about, the scene with the dad and the daughter, this was my vote for worst part of the movie. Because it made no fucking sense, and it was so indulgent. No, like as a narrative, it just like, what are you building to? Is she doing all this to survive? Is she doing all this to fuck over the fucking the security guy that's working for the man? Like, what is this leading to? Nothing. You could have killed her fucking 5 minutes ago, dude. And I respect it's like, so is he trying to show that she was a badass? Give her a moment to be a badass because you gave her no character development. You gave her no character development. So you're going to give her this moment to flex. And then she was badass. As a sequence, isolated sequence, it was cool. But it's just in this movie, it was pointless.
I thought that I think it was just there to just showcase, like, because I thought she was just going to get bit immediately and it was over, and the fact that she lasted that long was like, God damn, how is it still going?
But this isn't why.
And I have this, and I wrote this down towards the end of my notes at the end of the movie because this happens so many times. But every single person that dies has a solid 30 seconds to a minute to be saved, and everyone instead.
So Riz screamed about this. Riz screamed about how the dude with the greatest headshots stood there and watched her die. Obviously, the security guy wanted her to be left for dead because he didn't want her to tell them that he fucked her over. But
but it happens with almost every character that does, just like, instead of like using that time to rescue that person, which you had more than enough time to do to catch up, especially because Dave Bautista and everyone is there and they're just like and then run. But the every single character could have been saved.
Can I get
like everyone could have been saved, and instead everyone just chose not to. Like, I did not see the fact that everybody like fucking dies in this movie. Like, it's all pointless.
See, that's what I mean.
The whole point of the movie.
Yes, exactly.
They don't get the money.
Yes,
everybody dies. Why does this happen?
We didn't really talk about the premise because he talks about how it's so revolutionary. It is a heist movie and a zombie movie, right? Yeah. And so you're thinking like heist, they're getting in there, they want to get out. And then all of a sudden, there's this sudden shift in the movie at a certain, once they find out a certain thing, like me and Riss were calling it out before they even said that it's not about the money. They were just trying to capture these super zombies, which I guess we need to get to also. Everybody, so they did not have enough people to haul all that money onto the helicopter. They did not have enough
or time.
They didn't have enough time or money. And then once they put on the shoehorn, the nuclear hour thing, and there's an hour to a nuclear bomb's gonna blow up Las Vegas. I was just like, this is ruined anything I looked forward to about this heist. The heist is now worthless and is now just about getting out and surviving like every other zombie thing. So it's like a zombie ending and after all this heist with zombie flavor.
I think this starts halfway through the movie. Like, I didn't realize it was halfway when they got to the bank vault.
Oh, yeah, we noticed that there's so much time left, but I don't even think pacing-wise that line tracks perfectly because of how long the ending is. It's a Return of the King length of an ending. There's like 3 ending scenes, run right after another that are extremely long. We kept checking in the last last 45 minutes. We're just like, how close? And
I don't know. I don't know. Going back to the badass girl getting killed after she fought hard for no reason.
Yeah.
I have in my notes here that what does it say? Okay, so they're tossing the glow sticks because they can't shine the lights on the zombies.
From aliens.
Out of hibernations.
Yeah, one of the aliens moments.
And yet no one turns their flashlight off. And they all keep them on, pointing like semi-forward.
Well, it was just like supposed to be the breadcrumbs, like in case anyone gets lost, to follow the glow sticks. It wasn't about the light.
They're all he does the glow sticks because it's dark, because they say, how am I gonna see? Because they said don't shine your flashlights on, but then everyone leaves their flashlights on.
They said just don't shine them in their faces. I thought everyone was still allowed to shine them at their feet.
Like, it just made it like I feel like if you're not supposed to shine light, like even if shouting at their feet, that's still going to be shining at the zombie. It just felt dumb. And then also everyone's in a single file line close to each other. You shouldn't even fucking need the breadcrumbs. Like, why would you get that distance apart in the first place to allow the dude from the Mindy Project to screw over the girl? I don't know. It just felt
Who's
dumb.
the dude from the Mindy Project? Who's that?
The guy who's sent with from the corporate.
The security. Dude. He's on the Mindy Project. Yeah. He's also in Deadwood. He is in Deadwood, and he plays 2 different characters. And he dies in the beginning of the show, and I guess they liked him so much they brought him back as a different character later, and it fucked with me. I was like, what the fuck? Is this like a thing? Is he the same guy? But I enjoyed that he was in this. I enjoyed this. What?
I just spilled my entire cup of water.
Oh, all right. Do you need something to clean that up?
I have a towel and it's like 3 feet away.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. The cast, that guy, I was glad he was in it. Other than that, it's just Dave Bautista. Everyone, the Shades from Luke Cage, and I think he's in Sons of Anarchy also. He was the rapist security guard that had a weird role. And
yeah, he was. That whole thing was pointless. Like, I mean, I thought it was cool, like the whole offering thing. Like,
it was cool. It went on way long. It went on way long. Oh my god, can we talk about the captured women that never came up
until the very end? And then
they never. But they never explained why. They never explained why they were captured. Why were the zombies holding on to the women?
I took it as just like backup queens, because they were doing the whole thing about like impregnating like the zombie baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. Rape zombies is what he was trying to do. Yeah, there could be rape zombies in this, but I think he might have cut out a lot of the heavy parts about it. So essentially, you just don't understand why these women are being captured by the super zombie. The beginning, oh my god, the beginning sequence before the music, the Vegas intro with the military vehicles was so long and terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a Zack Snyder fan, this was his worst movie that I've seen,
Um.
in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. I would say so.
I will.
I like Dieter, the bank.
I did. I did. I was gonna say next on my notes was I
I liked
almost cried
Van
when
and
he
Dieter.
died.
I liked Van and Dieter.
Yeah,
I
I like their buddy cop bro relationship because like he becomes when it gets to the save time, he becomes the badass that's just like yelling at him, and he's just like, yes sir, yes sir.
um. I don't want to take too much time on this, but there's a few scenes that I want to talk about. The character Van. First, I have a problem with. They showed in the very beginning. They had the pictures of all the people, and they didn't have even the whole crew. They just had a few of the crew because they cut Christy Elliott out of the movie. They didn't do the thing with Tig Notaro, who's like CG replaces Christy Elliott in the whole movie.
But I thought it worked.
I did
thought it
too, and I
blended.
thought she was awesome in the movie. Not she was good. She was good, and it was like awkward a little bit, but I think that's what made it. There was one particular part with her when they were going over the mission with the white models, and she went and grabbed the helicopter, and it was so blurry, and there was a million lens flares. Oh my god, the overuse of lens flares. It was insanity, dude. Insanity. He thought he was JJ motherfucking Abrams out here.
Abrams.
J Abrams. All right, so that scene I had an issue with. Second scene was they shoehorned the relationship with the older woman that was his partner, like his main partner from the beginning. At the very end, she's just like, all of this is really reawakening how I feel about you, and da 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 da, and then then immediately zombies come out of the elevator and they snap her neck, and it's just like this is so
180.
unearned. All the deaths in this movie are unsatisfying, except for maybe Dieter and Van. All the deaths were unsatisfying. All of them. None of them felt good to me. Even the rapist's slow death, or the Deadwood guy getting ripped apart by a tiger so long. As much as it was happy as happening is just too much for me. But yeah, that scene with the woman, I was like, why? This is so unearned. You're shoehorning this relationship in here just to kill her seconds later. And then the scene, the big scene, the one I've been building up to this whole time.
The tiger killing scene.
No, not that.
No, I know.
The scene where Dave Bautista is talking to his daughter, and the daughter, it's like shot so weird. He's like shaky, handhold shaky. It's so, the depth of field thing is crazy up because he's right in their faces, and he's just like, it's shot so weird. It's like surreal, and the dialogue is so bad. It's cliche. She's like, you never call, you never write, and he's like
show up yet.
Talking about grilled cheese and shit, and it's just like, this is trying so hard to be this artsy emotional moment, the way it's shot and like the way the dialogue is, and it's so bad. It does not work at all, and it is by far the worst the other worst moment of the movie for me. We watched it 3 times. 3 times.
You know the scene in Guardians 2 where Drax is like flirting with the girl with the
bug
green dress
girl.
and
yeah.
This is just what that dialogue felt like. And
but
it just felt bad. It just felt like,
but it wasn't funny. But it wasn't a comedy. It's not a comedy.
Exactly. Like it felt like Drax lines, but in a non-comedic setting, and it just didn't work. And it was just bad. There's so much like, I think there could have been a good movie with a better writer. And I think like Zack Snyder's best movies are the ones that he doesn't write.
And editor.
I didn't have a problem with the editing.
Other than the dead pixel thing, that is
which I didn't even see.
I didn't see it either, so maybe they've fixed it already.
I mean, even on like the reviews online, you got to zoom in super far to see it. It's like I didn't notice it. I watched it on a laptop.
All right.
I was gonna say the 2 other big notes that I had that I thought were funny, or not funny, but I don't know, but like the tiger mauling scene at the end, like goes on for like 5 minutes for no reason. And then when it finally ends, it's just like the tiger just slow crushes that dude's face, and I don't know, for some reason about the slow crush, it was just like, God damn.
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was just something, I don't know why it just got me. But then the other one was the uh, at the end of the movie, Dave Bautista shoots his final pistol shot to blow up the King Zombie's head. You're telling me that tiny not little pistol he has, which looks like a little 9mm, that little bullet is gonna explode that fucking thing's head like it was a shock blast. I mean, granted, Tarantino does that with his guns, but like,
Yeah, no, he was definitely doing
it
some
just felt,
Tarantino over the top violence with the tiger scene and stuff
yeah,
like that, and it just didn't work. As much as I can appreciate some good violence when it's done well, I didn't think that either of those things works. Risk commented on that, on the head exploding. Yeah, the ending was forever. I don't know if we perfectly explained it, but there was like a king zombie that the military was transporting in the beginning, and it got loose and it went to Vegas, and that's how the Vegas zombie thing happened. And then he had a wife, and I guess the wife was pregnant, and the wife gets killed by a couple of the gang, and they find out.
Oh, I mean, one of the gang.
One of the gang.
The guy from the mini project slowly saws her
Deadwood
head off
guy. Yeah, Deadwood guy. His lip does not,
for no
his
reason.
Upper lip does not move. Yeah, so he takes the head back, and then there was a baby inside, and there was like an abortion scene, or he like rips it out, and you just see this like partial aborted fetus, and then will die in the king zombie's hand. Yeah. I thought that was unnecessary. As much, I didn't think that was very necessary. Like it didn't really mean anything to the film.
But it answered an age-old question: do zombies fuck?
It did. Yes. Well, yes, yeah, that. I mean, yeah, that. But I don't think you needed to rip the baby out of the stomach and watch it die in his hand.
Well, how?
Because it was like obvious. It was obvious. Yeah, how
I
else?
know, because with him sniffing the belly and all that stuff.
Oh, and like there was something I want to say about Van. Van in the very beginning, they do that lineup, and he's taking the picture with his philosophy degree, and it only comes up once, and he starts talking about like, what if we're like killing and dying in a loop forever?
Oh, his time loop theory.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh my god, you set this up with one shot, and I had to remember about it. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is he babbling about? And it was, I don't know, it was very heavy-handed. It was like he was explaining the symbolism of the movie to the audience. Like, what if the guy who's running the whole thing hired them all, or what are the Japanese mafia guy? He's like, what if he's the god or devil? And it like it's all these flashbacks of like making it look that way, and it's just like, wow, you're just essentially trying to explain your symbolism of your movie for the audience. And it's like, and then I was like, I said to Riss, I was like, if you have to spell it out, that means that it's not good.
Yeah.
That is my and like especially heavily handed spell it out. Like you want your audience to, you want to give the clues to figure something out if you want them to figure it out, but just like having a character elaborately explaining the symbolism of the movie and showing it in flashbacks to the specific details, like the shots that mean this and the shots that mean that, like this is God and this is this and da da da, and I was just like, God damn, dude. He's trying, man. He's trying.
What was the someone online mentioned like there's some random robot zombie thing that shows up, but I did not see that.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
There was one instance in the casino where the zombie's head got shut off and it looked like there was glowing blue light coming from the head, and I didn't know if that's what they meant. But I don't know. It just seemed like a I don't know. There was things in that everyone kept talking about in the movie I kept looking for, and that I didn't.
It might have been like it sounds like another technical editing thing. Maybe it was like some kind of animatronic thing that was.
But it was a CG zombie.
Because They're trying to
because he gets
set.
his like head blown off right in the casino when they're like chasing him. After like they send like the king guys to send all the hordes after him. Um,
All right.
I final thoughts.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Um, final thoughts are the I don't know. It just seemed like all for nothing. Everything, the whole plot, because there was no money except for the guy Van, and Van gets to the plane and dies on the plane. Or so he has to either kill himself, I'm assuming, because he got bit and then got on that plane. Or else Mexico City is going to be where the sequel takes
Yeah,
place.
yeah, the open-ended, it leaves a sequel out there, like a lot of these films usually do, and you never really know if there is gonna be a sequel made. They apparently there's like a prequel and an anime announced and all kinds of goofy shit. So we'll see if any of it. But you know how Zack Snyder's giant universes go. They sometimes don't.
He has them like
happen.
pre-made and ready, but then it's all about green lighting. But like him saying that he's like, oh yeah, like I got the whole story and everything done. People take that online and run with it. It's like, oh, they're making all these things. And it's like, no, he's just prepared for them to make them.
I feel like he needs to focus on what's his fucking in front of him, maybe a little bit. But I understand being a filmmaker, you got to have a big pool of ideas. But all right, I didn't like it, but I thought that there was good moments at times. I would not recommend this movie only because of the length. If it was less than 2 hours, I would say give it a try. You might have fun.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The action sequences are good. They're just too few and far between because of how bloated the fake character development is.
Yeah, it's terrible. There is non-existent character development. And that's what what makes it worse. I mean, a lot of the action sequences are a little long too. It's a lot of long. Everything could be shorter, and there are things that don't even need to be in the movie. Score out of 5 with half points. What would you like 2.5, 3.5? What would you give it?
Yeah,
that's the letterbox scale.
I think I'm at a 2.5, 3, somewhere around there, but leaning more towards 2.5.
Okay, I'm a 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. Because I don't think it was the worst thing I ever saw, and it wasn't enjoyable at times, even if it was in an ironic way. I reserve 1s and below for shit I would say is unwatchable.
This is definitely one. Like our dad would like this. Like,
yeah, people might enjoy this. It's definitely dumb fun. It's just too long, and that might make it too hard to digest for even the people that are looking for some schlock. And that's
it just felt like honestly, it just felt like a $90 million camera test for Zach. Which, I mean, that's fine.
But it didn't look was a failed test because it looked like dog shit. So even the CG, even some of the CG was not good. The muzzle flashes and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the whole digital muzzle flash thing took me for a loop because I just realized I haven't seen digital muzzle flashes. I feel like in ages. Like
I feel like you could have did better muzzle flashes.
Like yeah, they didn't look great. But then at the same time, like John Wick has a ton of digital muzzle flashes, but you can't tell because they look so real. This looked like some of them did it themselves in After Effects and called it.
Yeah, you could have did better than that. I really thought I thought that about multiple CG things. And like there was a lot of really good CG. Don't get me wrong.
Like that opening sequence with when everyone's on their backdrop things. Like
all the rotoscoping is really good for the TIG. The whole TIG thing is an impressive thing.
Yeah, I couldn't tell the difference.
I could at times. She had that little warbly halo around her. You know what I mean? Like in certain shots.
That's the lens.
I know that. I know that. But But they turn it up around things that they're trying to hide in the CG. I noticed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Then they turn and around her, it was always worse. The scenes with her are it was always super heavy. But all right, I don't want to talk about Zack Snyder anymore. I'm glad we did this first, so we got it off our chest. We don't, I'm sure we'll watch something later, but we're done with them. We're putting them away, and yeah, that's that. Let's move on to
Shape of Water.
Shape of
also
Water.
Known as Doug Jones's Wet Wild World. That's the first note I wrote down for this movie is Doug Jones' Wet and Wild World.
Pretty much. So Shape of Water, released in 2017, directed by Guillermo del Toro. It is about a woman who works at a research lab, and there is a fish man that she falls in love with. And I think that's the gist of it for non-spoilers. Yeah, oh yeah, baby, oh yeah. Yeah, that's one of the most memorable moments of the movie. I actually took a lot more notes for Shape of Water. Me and Riss talked a lot through Army of the Dead because it sucked, and we were just wrote. It looks like Mystery Science Theater. Whereas this, we were dead ass silent, and because we were very engaged in the story.
Oh man, I feel like you're not gonna like what I have to say about this movie.
Oh no.
Oh man. Well, you go first. I feel like you're gonna have a more lighthearted thing. I don't hate it. I just don't think you're. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to.
All right. I mean, okay. I loved it. It's not like it's not a perfect film or anything to me. Like it didn't blow my mind. But I thought it was really good. I love the color palette, the green everything. I loved the cast, the stepbrother's dad, and obviously Sally Hawkins.
He's the best part of the movie.
Sally Hawkins playing Mute. The whole movie is really good, and Octavia Spencer is hilarious. And everything, all her little things, because she's like, and she loves talking to the mute girl because she can just keep talking. Obviously, the monster looks great. Guillermo del Toro shit always does. It does look very similar to Abe from the Hellboy series. I have that written down. I honestly feels like this is a Abe's prequel before he gets to Hellboy. I love the color palette. I don't know if you're familiar with the film Amelie, but I got a lot of Amelie vibes. In terms of the way color is used, the shots, Sally, the way Eliza's character looks. The Eliza character looks reminds me of Amelie, though she's a bit older. But it's a weird movie. It's an eccentric movie. It starts with I don't know if there's spoilers. I guess I should save that. But I love Michael Shannon. It's not a fast-paced action movie, but I feel like it's paced fairly well. I was engaged throughout. And yeah, I'm curious. Now you got me curious. It's eating at me. So, what do you?
Well, Kylie fell asleep for 20 minutes in the middle.
Holy fuck!
And I liked it. I just didn't think it was a great movie. Like I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a solid. Like it's very sweet and like nice and happy feeling. But I guess based on the trailers and stuff, I went in not thinking it was just going to be Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. I don't know what did you think it was?
I just thought another layer than that. You know what I mean? It's like
it's all about the water. It's all about the water. Like there's a lot about like we're living in a dream, and because she's dreaming in the beginning, and she's swimming in the water, and she was born. They found her in the water, and everything is blue and green because it's like your life is like moving through water. Well, no, there's a lot of themes of water, not just the Beauty and the Beast thing.
But I don't know. I guess the more front and center of the story, I just thought would be like another like a different take on that genre, I guess. And instead, it's just pretty cut and dry Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast is not the same. Beauty and the Beast, the woman's like trapped in the Beast's castle. Like it is a Beauty and Beast thing, but it's very much a way different dynamic than like the tropes of Beauty and the Beast itself.
I don't know. I guess it's come out feeling like I thought the story was going to be something that like hadn't been done before. I guess more based on, and it's like I told my people I'm staying with, I was expecting There's
also a sorry, go ahead.
I just lost it.
Well, also there's a lot of themes about racism and discrimination and just
Oh,
people that
for
are
sure.
different than you, disabilities. That because obviously the stepbrother's dad is gay. Elisa is Latin of some kind, and she's
Yeah.
mute. Octavia is black. Her character, Lizelda, I believe the name was. And
Yeah.
just
And
like
like all that
the
stuff
the
is
dynamics between men and women and different races and just people with disabilities and just a lot of stuff about people different than you. And Michael Shannon is like your blue-blooded American,
yeah.
but then it's
I
like
feel like it's just all things I feel those things have been done before in other movies, and this one's just done in more of like just lighthearted like tone because the score of the movie is so like upbeat and like more phantasmal for it. But the way I looked at the movie, it felt like especially the way lighting was like a long stage play, which is not a bad thing.
yeah,
Like I enjoyed
that
it.
was I think it was definitely going for that with there's only a few sets and like
Mhm.
and the lighting in particular of the singing scene
Yeah, like
where
I thought
the
the cast
spotlights
was
on her.
that's one of the best. I chuckled at first because it was like kind of a funny thing seeing the fish man in the thing, but then it
Dancing.
was like it was cool though. Like I enjoyed the it's a very sweet and sincere movie.
And it's
I don't know.
lighthearted, but it's very adult. Like there's the sex, the sexual
Yeah.
side of it. I mean, she fucks it's all like she's the opening of the movie. I'll just get to spoilers. She's masturbating. She like they show that she masturbates in the tub every day.
It's
Um,
her routine.
and yeah, she has this affinity to water, and she's scars on her neck that look like gills, which end up becoming gills at the end. Um, yeah, the racism subplot was really good. I thought was good. Or no, it's not racism, but discrimination. Um, and then yeah, Michael Shannon's character. So it was a lot about how like the 50s is like this. It's got this cool vibe, but it's a really gilded age. And Michael Shannon's family is trying to do this Leave It to Beaver thing, but he's so unhappy and he's miserable and he's a bad man. And it's all to have this decent, like he's like, I'm trying. What do I have? When are my deeds enough to be a decent man? Like he says that general, and but you do bad things. Like it's like your ends don't justify the means, and that's why you're not a good man. Is you're a piece of shit. And I don't know. I like that. I like the whole Michael Shannon's character storyline. I thought it was really funny with
Yeah, I like Michael Shannon's. I thought him and the guy from Step Brothers were the best parts of the movie.
um yeah, see, I think Eliza is the best part of the movie, just that her performance is really good. And the stuff with all the scenes with the fish man I like, who looks awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Um really enjoyed it. And it's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful film. It looks great. The soundtrack is style, like the aesthetic, like the early 60s, I guess is what it really is. There's like a Cold War, backdrop with it. That's constantly getting talked about, like the Ruskies, and they're trying to research the Fishman, but the Americans just want to kill it. And but yeah, I like the aesthetic, that time period. Like it's like atomic age, kind of. Yeah, it's very Fallout almost, like the
Yeah.
time period. And I enjoyed seeing that done really, really. It was really well on the screen. Yeah, visually amazing, especially because it was like how I said, there's not that many sets, and like it is like a stage play, but it's still like it's just the consistency of the tone and the style was just really nice to see. Attention to detail.
Yeah, the one thing that it was an awesome scene, but my initial reaction was that would never happen. Was like filling up the bathroom with the water, but it's like, oh, this is so like it is very beautiful and it's so pretty. But the whole time I'm just like, there's no.
Well, it's
I don't
like
know why
yeah,
I
it's
could
like a
like
fairy tale. This
suspend the
is
disbelief.
it's like
Yeah,
a fairy tale, and that's why you got to look at it. Like
yeah, it's
um,
very much like a fantasy like thing. I don't know. It was good though. Like the
it's
more
an
it's one of
adult
those
fairy
movies where
tale
it's
is the
like
best way I could describe it.
yeah, it's one of those movies that I came out of like not initially like it was, man, you know, it's cool. I liked it, but you know, I if I never saw it again, I'm fine with it. But the more it's
Wow.
gonna, I feel like it's gonna be one of those ones where the more I sit on it, the longer I think about it, and I'm gonna like it more over time. But
This is the
which it
second time
happens with
I've seen
movies.
it. Yeah, this is the second
And
time I've seen it. I liked it initially. I think I liked it even more this time because I could really um, dig in because I knew what was going to happen. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we should touch on some scenes just because we have only been we haven't been talking about this nearly as long, but I feel like we're blazing right through it. Um, haven't seen a lot of other of his movies. I've seen this and I've seen Blade 2, and I think that's maybe it. So I want to see Pan's Labyrinth. I've seen Hellboys. I've seen the
you've seen
Hellboys.
Hellboy.
Yeah, I've seen at least this. I know I've seen the second Hellboy. Yeah, I've seen both Hellboys.
Yeah, I've only seen the two Hellboys from Guillermo del Toro, but I didn't think he did Blade 2.
Yeah, he did Blade 2. He did Mimic, the first Mimic, and then Blade 2. But yeah, the washing hands scene was really weird. Because he was just like, no decent man doesn't wash his hands before and after he pisses. Only once. Only one of the other.
It's like, you know, like if you wash them before, then your priorities are making sure your privates are clean from your dirty hands, but not
And then he
that your
immediately
hands
eats
are clean for
candy.
the rest of the world. Yeah.
Immediately eats candy after.
I like when he ripped his rotten fingers off. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was the way it was going. I thought it was just gonna like, because it felt like something I'd seen before. I assumed he was gonna get there and then he was gonna die from the infection or something was gonna stop him ahead of time before he shot everybody. But but still ended up in like the happy ending regardless. Like the ending that I thought was gonna happened anyways.
Yeah, he got his just desserts, I'd say, as a big old piece of shit. I think anytime when he was like rapey to Eliza, I knew that he was probably up for being killed. Like instead of redeemed.
Yeah.
I like how did you like the Russian scientist subplot with the
I mean, it was cool. Just another means to get Liza her fish man.
But yeah, there was like the paranoia, like that guy was like he was in danger at work, but he was also in danger with his own men.
Yeah.
And they actually in the end shoot him. Like they betrayed him. I knew he was gonna die, but it was unsure if it was Michael Shannon that was gonna kill him or if it was the Russians. That seemed that like once they were done with him, they were just gonna dispose of him. But it actually was kind of both in the end. There was like there was a funny thing with the passwords that that they had. And like there was like a disconnect on the passwords. It was really funny. Yeah, this is like it's adult. Like I said, there's sexual things, nudity, but and swearing, but it was also like very whimsical and childlike and like a fairy tale. And I really enjoyed the mix. That mix together, because you see people do adult takes on fairy tales, but it usually just tries to be adult and it takes the beats from the fairy tale, but it's trying like Romeo. I think like Romeo and Juliet or like those kind of adult adaptations. Whereas this is still trying to maintain a fairy tale. Me and Riss right now are watching a show called Pushing Daisies. And it's the creator is the guy who did the Hannibal show. And a few other things, and it has a really 60s vibe, and it is like this like 20th century fairy tale, but it's lighthearted, but it's about murder and stuff like that. There's no swearing or nudity or anything, but it did remind me of that actually, and there's really consistent color. I think both of which were probably influenced by the movie Amelie. I think we should maybe watch Amelie maybe next or within the next few. Just while this is still fresh on our minds. I know Wes Anderson, somebody I think is influenced by that movie as well, because the colors. Yeah, I don't know. It's a beautiful movie. It's not perfect to me. I think it's paced well. I think it's engaging, but it didn't like
I
blow me away. And I think,
I think it's the best version of this kind of story that I've seen so far, though. Um,
oh, absolutely, I think so. I think so. It's not like extremely revolutionary. I've read criticisms that he loves this aesthetic, in Hellboy and
mhm.
in, um,
Yeah, it's all like that hard light stage lighting
well,
like
it's like it's
style.
the Atomic Age shit. It's all
Yeah.
the, because that's in the Hellboy movies too. Like not steampunk. I don't know what you'd want to call it. Um,
But just even from a lighting perspective, though, it's all like big, like yellow sodium vapor hard light shining in through windows, or it's all like just people in more dank areas with just beams of hard light shining in around like the backlight and stuff. But everybody has a spotlight on them. And it's but like I enjoyed that. That was probably I love the aesthetic of this film. I thought it was very like you have so many movies now where everything's all about soft light, and I appreciate the coming in like doing that well, like going back to more your more like 90s, like late 90s hard lighting style of shooting. And it just I don't know, it felt good. The sets felt clean, everything felt real. It was a nice refresh to just have it all practical sets and like on a smaller movie versus like coming from Army of the Dead where there's so much like only what's in the foreground is real and everything else is CG.
yeah, I much prefer practical effects, and unless it's like, you can't, or it's just too expensive. That's why I really like. I think that's why the Fishman looks so good. Um,
Yeah, he looks great. Doug Jones always. I mean, it's a shame he's so typecast, but yeah, would love to see him in his own rom com. But
yeah. So we're at an hour and 5 now. I feel like we spent so much time on Zach. We got to give this a little bit longer.
I
But
had another note, and I'm just trying to find where I wrote it down. But um,
the
oh,
whole
the whole ending of the movie just felt like The Departed for a little bit. It was just like in a matter of like 10, 15 minutes, all these people are just getting shot at once
yeah,
by
yeah, you're
people off
right.
screen.
Yeah, you're right. You're
It was
right.
just like it was just constant off screen shootings, and I thought it was so funny. Like in a good way. It was just like, oh, oh, oh. It was good.
Yeah, the end. I thought the ending was satisfying. It was built up to, the scene with, we touched on a little bit, but with Michael Shannon at, Octavia Spencer's character's house, Zelda, threatening the family, and the husband, like, gets involved, and like there's like definitely something going on with different, relationships, because Zelda's character is always talking about her husband, doesn't do shit throughout the movie.
Brewster.
Yeah, Brewster. Come on, Brewster. I love her performance. I feel like I see her in so much shit the last like
I
five
just remember she
years.
was in that Ma movie, I think it's called,
Yeah.
or something like that, where it's the mother who doesn't have kids but invites all the kids to party at her house.
She
It's like a horror movie.
she's in Snowpiercer. The Chris Evans Bong Joon
Yeah.
Ho movie. She's in that. I watched the Witches remake last year, and she was in that. She's the grandma. She's in that movie that just came out with Melissa McCarthy that's supposedly terrible. But yeah, she's great. It's great
Yeah, I
cast.
like her.
Great cast, great, cinematography, great sound, great, the everything, the consistency of the whole aesthetic. Yeah, I thought it was like perfectly made. It's just the story, like you said, the story itself didn't really blow me away, but it was such an immersive world, and the fairy tale vibe, and
Yeah,
um
like I said, I think this is the best version of this kind of story that you can do. Like mixing like adult and childlike, more like Disney fantasy elements, especially with the score. The music for me is what kept it in that fantasy more than
yeah.
the lighting aesthetic and everything. Um, the But I think why I didn't like it was just I guess I was well, when you every movie that I watch that like gets because I usually end up watching whatever wins Best Picture well after it's won it, And usually when I watch it, it's something like new I haven't seen before. It's like a new take on something I have seen. Whereas this was like the whole movie, I just knew what was going to happen with every character the whole way through. And I think that's why I just like had a hard time engaging. Um, just you know what I mean. But like, but it's good. But it's like at the same time,
See,
it's
I
just
didn't know. I didn't
so
know if the
well.
fish man was gonna die. I didn't know if the woman was gonna die. I didn't know. Yeah, I feel like everyone was in at risk. Like it ended up being a happily ever after, but I didn't know
I
that
felt like
it.
the way
I
that the
didn't
movie or
really know that it was guaranteed it was gonna go that way.
the
I
way that
didn't
the
feel
music
that way.
was just for everything, even in the tension parts, it just seemed like it wasn't going to go pure dark. You know, it felt like a happy ending movie. Like from at least from the middle on, it just felt like it was going to be it's, you know, it's just going to work out. Um, but my biggest critique is I wish I would have there should have been more Fishman fucking. I want to see how he
Man, God,
operates.
we got how many? You want to see it in
Yeah, but
graphic
you don't
detail?
see it. You don't see it. You know, she closes the curtain, or it's just them, you know, swim like just being like together spinning in the water. But I would have liked to see more of the
Graphically,
anatomy of how the fish
graphically.
man
I mean, they
operates.
explain it. Yeah, I feel like that he had to put a little explanation in there.
I thought it was funny. Like so
It
then
was
Zelda's
funny.
just like how the fuck does that work? Like because she's all cheesing at work and Zelda's just like, oh, you definitely got laid with the thing? What?
Yeah, I have me
Um,
thinking about like, is this thing intelligent enough for this not to be like partial bestiality, some level of
what
bestiality?
what if he impregnated her? Like what happens then?
Well, now that she's got gills, I think she's all bets are off.
Part fish now.
She's part
Uh,
fish. She can do
she'll give
anything.
birth to a new Doug Jones,
Baby Doug Jones.
baby Hellraiser. But yeah, I don't know. I'd say yeah, this one's definitely not as for me at least not as I don't have much to say about it because it was just this, you know, it's a solid movie and like that's it wasn't bad enough
That's
for me to
fine.
have a lot
No,
of
that's
things. And
fine. We can set up next week's show now and wrap up because we are. I mean, well over an hour.
I figure we're doing an hour and a half, but
I did. Well, I figured it'd be hour to hour and a half. Like I wanted to not
gotcha, gotcha.
naturally finish. It doesn't have to. I'm gonna stream after, just to make sure it's a 3 hour block. I'll probably stop the stream so it cuts it, so it doesn't make it video games post show. I think.
Mm.
But all right. So what do you give in Shape of Water?
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 4 out of 5. So it's not like it was as much as we. I feel like we talked Army of the Dead. I was surprised how much we said the same shit. In Shape of Water, you know, we had some slight differences, but I still a 4. Some my scale to explain it. 1, unwatchable. 2, not good but watchable. 3, average movie. Good movie. 4 is great movie. And 5 is life-changing film.
Yeah, I could 3 for me, or 3.5 for me is like it was almost great to me, but I don't know, I walked away not being blown away, like not being like it, yeah, like I enjoyed it, and so it feels like a almost an 8 out of 10, but like it's more like a 7 or a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. So actually I wanted to ask you this in the beginning of the show. But what would you consider um your 3 favorite films?
Of all time.
Yeah.
Oh God, I should have prepped. I mean, Mallrats is definitely my number one. Um,
Mallrats.
I just love the dialogue. I just think it's I think the Jason Lee and the other guy, I'm blanking on his name, but he plays TS. I just love their dialogue, their banter. It just
J
feels so
O
naturally.
Jeremy London or Jason London, one of the
Yeah,
London twins.
whichever boy is in that one. But yeah, I just it just feels so natural and just reminds me of just like me and my friends just sticking around kind of dialogue, and it's just funny. Um it's just like a nice story without needing a big thing or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. That one always stands out as just being the one that I can just throw on, and it's good. But for 2 and 3, I don't know. God.
Yeah, it's kind of on the spot, so it doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't have to be correct.
Annihilation. No,
I
not doing
actually
that.
I put mine, seeing if I had mine on my you can put 4 favorite films on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
I have Blue Velvet.
That one was really good.
There Will Be Blood. Doctor Strangelove and Train Spotting. All of which are on our list.
Yeah, I think for me it's gonna be. Well, I think Watchmen's somewhere in that top 3.
Watchmen, wow. So these are more personal choices for you. Yeah, so I'm picking. Yeah. So for me, this is critical. Like, this is what I think is the best movies that I've seen. Like, have had an impact on me. And I have so it's like both for me, personal, but also there's a heavy, like, I like Mallrats, and when I was a kid I loved Mallrats and I loved Watchmen, but do I think that they're the best films I've ever seen? No.
Oh yeah, I know they're not the best films, but if they're talking like my,
I'm just explaining my criteria versus. Yeah. I'm just explaining my criteria versus yours. Doesn't mean you're wrong.
Yeah, if we were going for more like best movie I've ever seen, like where like
it's like favorite, yeah. Like if you were like, I'm gonna show somebody it never saw films, like what are the 4 fucking best films? That's all you can show them. 3 or 4.
I always come back to Moonlight. That movie was so good.
Really, Moonlight was awesome. Moonlight's so awesome. Good. It's a 5. I think it's a 5 on my Letterboxd.
I'd give it a 5. I think the weakest part is the final scene, but even then it's not bad.
Yeah, what are 5s to you? That's my question. Like, name me some more 5s.
Yeah, I would give Moonlight a 5. I would give man, I'm trying to think of something like good. There was like a period of the pandemic I didn't really watch a lot of movies, but the like Blue Velvet I would say is a 5. Like, that's pretty much all of the Lynch ones that we've watched together I've thoroughly enjoyed and would give 5s.
Which ones did we watch? But we watched Mulholland Drive,
and Blue Velvet.
Yeah, it's like honestly seeing. I would never advise someone to watch Eraserhead first for Lynch. I think it's much better context. Yeah, it's much better context to watch any collection of the rest of his movies and then watch that after. That's what I did.
Scott Pilgrim, I would give a 5. That's a phenomenal movie.
These are my 5s and 4.5s. So I got a lot. There's some Lynch. There's Fight Club. Some normie stuff in here. Pulp. I mean, because of classics. Pulp Fiction, Inception.
Hateful Eight.
Star Wars. Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. E.T. Like, those are just. Jaws is fucking dope. I just saw that for the first time last year. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of regular normie classics. But I'm trying to see if there's anything that is a oddball on my thing. Fight Club, I guess. Gone Girl, given a 5. I haven't seen Gone Girl in a while, but I just remember being so into it the first time.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Well, it's on the list. Sorry, let's decide what we want to watch next week.
Okay.
Do you want me to pull up the list?
I picked Shape of Water, so do you want to flip flop?
Yeah.
I'll pick the new one, and you pick the
podcast list. And I thought of some more directors that I forgot to put on the list, like Jim Jarmusch.
Point Break, top is Bodak's top 5 throwback. Nice. I've never seen Point Break in its entirety. I've only ever seen it in chunks randomly on TNT as a kid. Oh, I can't read any of that. It's so small.
Oh, I sent you it. You have it.
Sorry, I'm on stream.
Oh, what the poop?
Which email did you send it to?
What the fuck is my password? All right, well, never mind. we can pick something. We don't need. I don't need to. I was gonna add some things. I sent it to you on Facebook.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All right. Well, do you want to watch a classic? Do we want to watch something newer, like how Shape of Water, like a newer great film?
I mean, it's your pick. You can pick anything.
I can pick.
I'm
All right. I can pick. Let's watch. I'm always so bad at this. Oh, we're watching Amelie. I already decided. Amelie.
Okay. And then
is there anything new?
New-ish. I'm trying to think what's something I've been really wanting to watch lately.
I didn't see Mortal Kombat yet.
I saw it. It was.
I know it's not going to be worth talking about, really, but.
Oh, you know what I want to pick? Blade Runner 2049.
All right, let's do your next one. I feel like we should watch the original first, though.
I was just gonna watch the original on my own first, but yeah, we can do the first one first.
Yeah, and I think we gotta watch the final cut because the director's cut is ass cheeks. It made me not think that movie is not good. Okay, so we have Spiral.
Wait, really? I thought the director's cut was the good one.
No, it's really long. It's really long. Yeah, it's just like Apocalypse Now Redux is not the best way to watch Apocalypse Now. It's too long. I feel like you have to see it first in the final cut, and then you watch the director's cut when you want to get some more. All right. All right. So there's Quiet Place Part 2. There's Spiral. There's
actually, I'm changing mine.
Well, your picks next week, right?
We do 2 movies a week of that.
Well, I think we're deciding on the new one together because it's a new one.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought it was you pick one, I pick one.
No, I thought we were doing we each one of us picks an old movie and then we decide on a new movie. So we picked Army of the Dead because that was obvious because it was brand new. We got Cruella, we got Spiral, we got Godzilla vs. Kong.
I saw Godzilla vs. Kong.
We could try. We could just watch a newer, really good movie. I've been wanting to watch Minari or Nomadland or.
I saw Nomadland. It's up your alley.
Well, you'd have to watch them again, so that's up to you.
Yeah. Fine. It was fine.
I really want to see Minari.
I want to add Mother to my pick for like the week after because
Mother with the exclamation point.
Yeah, because last night Neil and Anson were just a pretty aggressive argument over it because Neil staunchly hates it and Anson thinks it's
that's Denny Villeneuve, right? That's the same.
No, it's Darren Aronofsky.
That's it, Darren Aronofsky. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I just got to see it to know.
He's on. It's on our list, so.
Yeah, because they're not the first ones like that. Everyone I've met has either been strongly against it or strongly in favor of it.
Yeah, I remember the Red Letter Media guys said they liked it.
So I'm excited to see where I lie on it on the extremes.
2021 Oscars. I'm just trying to see. What movie you were just talking about?
I was talking about Mother.
Mother. Oh yeah, that's not new. We got Nomadland, Minari, The Father, or Mank. But I feel like when we do Mank,
I want to see Mank.
We should do Mank, but we should do Citizen Kane and Mank in the same episode because it's about Citizen Kane.
A movie I've seen and thought was boring as fuck.
I already seen Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, what about Black Klansman? I haven't seen that one. That was really good.
It's not that new, but it's on the list. I would consider that in this. No, but Shape of Water is like 20. It's like that. It's more. I think I want something new, like and within the last year. Let's do Minari. You're fine with that?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's with Glenn from The Walking Dead. It won some Oscars.
How do you spell it?
I think it won Movie of the Year, didn't it?
No,
Nomadland.
Nomadland won
It was
Best Picture.
nominated though. Yeah, Glenn from The Walking Dead's the star.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right.
I don't know what it's about, but it's got a 98 in Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be awesome. So yeah, all right, Minari and Amelie. And yeah, you can pick the new movie next time, like if you feel like you're not getting to pick the new movie. But I wanted to keep it, try to keep it within the last year at least. All right, I think that is everything. Is there anything else you wanted to address before we part ways? I think there was something, but I was thinking of, but now I don't remember.
I love that Dave Bautista wears the rubber band but on his glasses to keep them on.
Yeah, it's because that's how action guys do it. Rec specs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so I will wrap things up. Make sure you follow the Slob Thomas Twitch. We did make a Best Boys YouTube. Unfortunately, I couldn't stream from it because it has to be activated for more than 24 hours. But you can follow there. We do have a YouTube page. I'm going to be posting the VOD on there. I am recording this, so hopefully it turns out. Yeah, I'm excited. This is fun. I'm excited to talk about more movies. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next Saturday at 12:30. And yeah, Kory, you have anything else to say? Plug yourself.
Yeah, I'm not kind of on social media that much anymore. I'm trying to come back, but I'm pretty much just on Instagram. So at Kory with a Story, and you can see BTS from my work and the work I've done and doing. But yeah, no, this is a great time. I'm excited because it's getting me to watch more movies because I just haven't been.
Yep, me too. All right.